Hey, what's up, everybody? It's another episode of the Talk About It podcast. I'm Lauren Fulmer.
I'm Victor Dantas.
And another special guest joining us today. Very excited. Jane Jacobsen. Some might remember and know you as Jane Nyman. But Jane Jacobsen, how are you today?
I am fabulous. Thank you.
Good. Very excited to have you come in today.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, talk about what you have going on. First of all, you traveled over from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So
I did,
appreciate you making that commute and getting here safely.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about Jane Jacobsen. What do you do, girl?
Well, gosh, I do a lot of things, but my kind of passion and forte is fitness and wellness. So work with clients in person and have just kind of branched out into my own business, really independently, doing some online and studio training.
And what's the name of that business?
Chiseled Wellness, actually.
All right.
Yep.
And then how long have you been doing that?
Well, so since the middle of September, actually, just a few months ago. But I've been in the fitness industry for the last 18 years, working at it was a locally owned big box gym. We had about 6 locations, and I was the VP of fitness there. And then just saw an opportunity where, we kind of stopped seeing eye to eye and saw it as a sign to take a leap of faith and branch out on my own. So
just take the jump.
That's right. I mean, yeah. It was amazing, but in the end, I'm grateful for the bad that became the good. So
Good.
Do you sell online fitness classes?
Yeah, so I'm working with an app.
Yeah.
So it's all app-based training where I do the programming behind the scenes, and then people receive the workouts through the app, but we'll discuss nutrition, habit coaching, things of that nature.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
And then on top of that, I do have a small studio space. I was able to kind of rally and get some space and equipment together, and then I'll meet with small groups and private training clients.
What's the most rewarding part about that for you?
Just the people, the relationships, and the impact that I can make on someone's even just daily habits. And, I get to see people maybe in person for 60 minutes of their day, but my goal is to be making an impact when they leave the studio the most. So that is the most rewarding thing, is just seeing people's lives change and them continue to be happy, but also able to move while they age and feel good about it too.
Is that something that you sell mostly to people in the area where you live in Cedar Rapids, or people in California and other states could use your program as well?
Yeah, that's the most exciting thing about branching out on my own and using this app, is I am excited to get all over the country, right? Mm-hmm. But obviously the in-person thing it's something that I think during shutdown, you realize like how much of a people person that you might have been, or like me for sure, like even missing the grumpy people at the gym. It was like, oh my gosh, where are the people? They kind of like fuel my fire. So I'll probably always do some in-person options, and that's why I really like to keep it in small groups so I can impact more people at once. Mm-hmm. But my goal now is to kind of scale up in some of the more digital training.
Do you have
options.
a plan for that, to expand? How do you plan on doing that?
Well, great question. So I'm currently working in like a small Facebook group. So it's a free group, inviting all the people to come into it and using that more of a platform to like introduce programming. Mm-hmm. I like to get a little more customized with clients. So, I specialize in strength training. That's a big thing for me, especially for females. Mm-hmm. But meeting people where they're at and making sure that we're coming in like together as a team and not me just telling people what to do. So,
Well, one thing with those, very popular, a lot of the CrossFit workouts, right? And that, to me, and not knocking them, but this is one workout and everyone's doing it. And so obviously, like, I'm in a different level of shape than he is or she, but here you got all these people doing the same thing where, maybe I'm not ready to go 100% like that.
Yeah,
right.
For sure. Absolutely. And then just movement-based training, right? Like maybe your hips don't open up as much as someone else's, or your knees don't bend as low. So we can kind of get together on that. So it's it's individualized, but you're kind of doing the effort on your own.
Okay.
How cool is it to see the confidence levels change in somebody as they, as they start, and then they're like, man, maybe they've lost weight or they're getting in better shape, being able to lift more weight, whatever it is, that confidence has to be, to me, I know that would be like the most rewarding part, is being like, man, you came in here questioning yourself, doubting yourself, whatever.
Yeah.
And like, look at you today.
Yeah. I mean, that gives me goosebumps. And like I said, I've been doing this I graduated in 2004. So this long, right? Born and raised in fitness, but that part of it like still gives me goosebumps. So from like even a female that comes in with a t-shirt the first day she's training to then like a few months later, she comes in with a tank top on because she feels better about herself. It's even gone as extreme as I've had one client in the past, she lost over 100 pounds and it changed her life, like maritally, things of that nature. Like she was just a whole new person that needed a whole new kind of life to step into. So
Right.
Yeah,
that's gotta
really,
be.
Yeah,
In
really
your
rewarding.
program, do you talk about nutrition as well?
Yes. Yep.
Because that's a big factor for someone to lose 100 pounds, for example.
Absolutely. And that, I mean, fitness is great and I love fitness, right? But it's only a small portion of what your results are going to be. So nutrition, I mean, at least 80% of those daily habits are going to get you your results, no matter what those are: weight loss, fat loss, muscle gain.
Yeah, the Big Macs will get in the way. Like if you're sitting here working out every single day, you're hard at it, and then you go have 2 Big Macs and big Starbucks, like mocha frappuccino. Not knocking Starbucks or McDonald's, but just generalizing. Yeah, you got to watch what you put in. That stuff impacts how your body feels. You eat kind of crappy, you usually feel crappy.
Yeah, for sure. And I like to say, nothing is off limits by any means, but yes, like we're not going to be at McDonald's every single day. Yes, can you have it sometime eventually? For sure. But you kind of hit it right off, like your performance is based on what you fuel your body with. And we've all felt that really great because we've eaten well the day before, or really crappy because we haven't. So, yeah.
I feel completely different for example, if I eat well and if I start working out, I feel extremely good. If I don't work out for 3-4 days, it's like I go down very quick. I start eating bad.
Horseshoes.
Yeah.
Like covered in cheese sauce. Yeah.
Actually, just this morning, my small group, I was like, guys, I'm making chicken tonight. And another gal was like, oh my God, I made chicken last night. And we haven't had it forever because of the holidays, right? We've gotten out of the swing of things. We're eating like ham and social gatherings, drinks. And it was just a funny conversation that kind of hit home when we were talking about it. And she was like, I miss my chicken and I grilled a bunch of it up last night and I'm like set for the week. And I was like, dang, like she is on it. Like that is, yeah.
Let's talk about your own personal journey through fitness. You mentioned earlier, kind of born into it. I know your father real well. He was he's like a gym rat. I still to this day see him at the gym.
I still get snaps of you, maybe like
I'm like, look, Dad's in here getting it. Still, so good for him. But so I mean, you had that influence. He was also you tell it better, but I believe he was into some like bodybuilding. You've done some competitions yourself.
Yeah.
So why don't you kind of share that journey if you don't mind?
Absolutely. So yes, my dad was always into fitness. I mean, railroad days, 5Ks. I'm forgetting that old gym in Galesburg.
Northgate.
No, it was even before that.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyways, he would do like, your bench press competitions and things of that nature. Northgate, that was one of my first jobs, folding towels and greeting people on the way in. So he just really, I think, instilled in me or made sure, I guess I just learned that it was something that it was a habit to get into young and just to continue that. So yes, sports throughout my, high school and then college. I went to Cornell in Mount Vernon, Iowa, and did kinesiology. And then that's when I kind of broke out into like independent fitness, where I just focused on wanting to help others. And yes, I have done some bodybuilding competitions. I started in the bikini category, am now a figure pro, and have hit that stage a lot of times. And I kind of hope to revisit that this year too.
You do want to get back into that?
I do, yeah.
What is it about the bodybuilding that like grabs you? Do you think it part like your dad was involved in it, or is there like what dynamic of that keeps you like hungry to do it again?
Yeah,
because that's a dedication. I mean, it's not just getting in shape,
right?
That's a dedication. I mean, you are burning everything your body's got to get it to its absolute
it gets to a point that's not healthy, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's not a way to live. And it's definitely, and if you do it right, you should take some years off. And gosh, we could chat forever about that too. For me, it just comes down to sometimes you just need a goal to strive for, or something like to push you a little bit harder. And I also feel like my clients, like, they fuel my fire and want me to continue like on my own fitness journey as well. So back in the beginning of my like first competition, it was like, gosh, like these people are out here working their asses off, committing to what I tell them to do. Like I need to scale up a little bit now. Like I need to be honest with myself, or like have someone to be accountable to. So it just, I don't know, those things that are risky and that you might not really want to do them, but you should because it'll make you better. And that's kind of like a feeling in my life right now that I have a little bit, like ready to do something crazy.
You said you competed in the bikini, and then there's another one, the pro something? What's the difference?
So there's different categories in like the bodybuilding world. So like bikini is just not as much muscle, so to speak. Whereas the figure category, which it was actually recommended to me by the judges, that I just had more of like the symmetry and the muscle structure that might do well in that category.
Is it where the bikini is natural and then the other one you can use?
That's a great question too. No,
I'm just asking.
No, I do compete in the all natural category. Like the Olympia was just on a few weekends ago, and I was sucked into that, right? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, there's a lot of Brazilians that do it.
Yes, there are. Yeah. They're all beautiful. I mean, everyone up there is beautiful, but so you'll find less natural competitors on that stage than the others. But no, for my organization, we take polygraph tests and we do drug tests, especially if you place in the top 5. So then after a while you do so many competitions, or you win overalls and you win your pro card, and that's where I'm at. Yeah. Nice.
So outside of steroids, what would be so like
HGH,
natural.
Like even some prescription diuretics, like that. Well, most of them will use, but females especially, just like skin tightening, just any sort of enhancements that are gonna.
Well, you'll see in professional sports, some athletes will test positive for a banned substance, and it's not necessarily steroids, and maybe. So I guess that it's like that category of things, I assume.
Yeah, pretty much the same exact list, really.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I follow a lot of YouTube channels about nutrition and bodybuilding as well. I don't want to be a bodybuilder, but I follow because, I mean, if I want to lose weight, I will hear someone that knows how to lose weight.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but yeah, I always been so, like I don't have a lot of information about steroids. What's your opinion about steroids? Do you think it's something, because I've heard that for some people it's healthy. Some people, if you have your testosterone levels low, you can go to a doctor and he will prescribe you some. I don't know how it works in details, but what can you talk about that a little bit? Or do you know much?
I don't know a ton. I'm definitely not a professional in terms of steroids. However, I do think that in some cases those might be prescribed to someone, but are they in the form of like that anabolic thing that's getting shot up in the locker room, which
Sure.
is out there.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
I
out
said,
there.
I worked in a gym for 18 years and yeah, it's there. And you know, the interesting thing on that too is a lot of people who participate in that aren't in the bodybuilding world, but they're just in real life. And that to me is very surprising because it's hard on your body. It's
Yeah,
like
and it's
not
like,
natural.
well, at that point, what are you doing to, you know, to look good at the mall, or you know, or like, I don't know. But that's
the
crazy
gym floor
to me.
for sure. There's a
Right.
lot of egos there, right?
Oh,
Always
yeah.
say leave your ego at the door when you hit the gym because
There's a lot of egos out on the streets, out at, you know, everywhere you
True
go. I
that.
always get caught up on that.
I
Like,
just don't think it's worth it if you run the risk of dying because of anabolics, you know.
yeah.
Steroids.
Well, and you know, taking bodybuilders for example, there's been plenty of them who have died
Yes.
from that, and it's like
It's just crazy. And
It
you take
is.
one time, you keep taking your whole life. Otherwise, you're just gonna have.
I would
problems.
assume that someone that, you know, that you probably, I'm going to try this. Like, it's a quick fix, right? We want to cut some corners or whatever. But I would assume no one's ever like, I'm going to do steroids for the next 25 years. I'm just guessing. You know, most likely
Right.
they're like, I'm going to try this. And then you just end up, it's almost like, you know, some people who do a plastic surgery and then they do 5 and then they have 17 and then you're like, you don't even look like the person. What happened? But, you know, so I'm sure that too. They're like,
Yeah.
I'm never going to get all that. You just get caught up and you know. I mean,
Yeah.
take smoking. You know, most people, they try a cigarette or two. You know, it's not like I'm going to have this cigarette and I'm going to have them for 50 more years. You know, it's just something that they do and they try and then it snowballs.
Yep.
So
It just
it's
becomes a habit.
self-discipline. I mean, you know, that's one of the best parts about working out is you have to have the self-discipline to get to the gym, to get up every day. You know, if it was easy, everyone would be out here cut up and, and in shape.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's like people keep honing on into this word like motivation, but you know, that comes and goes. It's more about the discipline. It's about doing the stuff when you don't want to do it. Like even competitors or even just in daily life, like do you like think that I really love, well, I probably do really love like broccoli and tuna, right? But I eat that over the Snickers because I know it's going to promote more like performance and my goals at the moment. So it is like, it's the discipline that I think some people need to kind of hold themselves more accountable to.
Oh yeah.
I saw an interesting, it was on Netflix. It's a documentary called Human Playground.
Okay.
And it's a bunch of these like mini films of people's journeys and, you know, all across the world and people challenging themselves, like climbing Mount Everest, you know. But the very first one is this gal who lost her leg, I believe in an accident or something, but she participates in this once a year race across the Sahara Desert, I believe.
Okay.
Like there's only like a few hundred people that show up to do this and only like 13 of them even finish. Like it's absurd. But what she was talking about is the pain and like uncomfortable, like is what pushes her to like bring it every day. Like she wants to experience it. The pain reminds her that she's still alive from her accident. Like it didn't get me.
Absolutely.
So I just thought that was such an interesting mindset to like I've never been like, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to work out until I can't take it anymore because I'm in pain.
Yeah.
Like that's never happened to me, but that's a really cool mindset to like keep you pushed and, you know, and keep going.
I do like that. I agree. I hadn't thought about it that way before, but I'm sure with her, which we have nothing to relate to on that, when she is, you know, you said she lost her leg.
Yeah. So here she is with her real leg and then a prosthetic and going through the sand.
Yeah.
Like it is this crazy. You guys should check it out if you get a chance. It's called Human Playground, but it's all about the world. It's the earth is our playground. And some people see it as like, man, that's a challenge for me. Let me see if I can hike through this desert, if I can climb this mountain. You know, it's nuts.
Yeah. It's funny because, I mean, that is an extreme and that's awesome. But like literally within like a coaching session, when someone's doing something hard, right? I'm like, work hard, but also consider this like an opportunity. Like not everyone gets to do this. First of all, not everyone can move their body this way. Nor is everyone as motivated or here like you are. So I do really feel like it is an opportunity, and there's not like a day that goes by that I don't wake up and put that down in gratitude. Like, thank you for my able body, because when you don't have it, even when you're sick, right? You're like, that's the first thing, that's the only thing on your mind is your pain or your, discomfort. So.
No, that's real. I never thought of it even that way. That like, this is an opportunity. You talk about like count your blessings or, I mean, here's people who aren't even able to go to the gym.
Right.
Your body's the most important thing in your life.
Yeah.
I know.
And you only get one of them, right?
This is true.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about your brand.
Oh.
How did that start first?
Well, so during COVID shutdown, the gyms were closed in Iowa, right? And it was, I don't know, like I said, I'm a people person. It was hard to, just shut it down in general. So this is an activewear line where I had purchased some items before, and then you can sign up to become a rep, right? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. It's like within the community, there's a lot of leadership activities, and I just thought it was a great time. I mean, with every good workout needs a good workout outfit, and vice versa. Like it's very I mean, you guys may or may not feel this way, but like when you put on a nice outfit, you feel like, let's go, you know, like dress the part, success, etc. So I just thought it was another layer to add to even clients, because now they don't have to necessarily look for all the great gear, but it's one more avenue that I can kind of say like, hey, if you're looking for something, here it is. Already, did the research. It's awesome for you. But it allowed me in that moment to stay connected with people. And I just thought it fit in, whether it's just me using it or I was able to share it with others. So it's something that it's just like a layer or a level to kind of my fitness passion.
Are the products mainly for women?
No, they're for the whole family. So males, females, kiddos, all of it. Yeah.
How can people find it?
Well, I have a website, so I can share that with you if you're, I'll share it, and we can maybe include it in whatever gets sent out. But yeah, it's super fun. If you love activewear, especially as a female, I mean, I tend to save money as long as I don't get all the things. But then you can also have an opportunity to earn money and make this a business if you want to. Some people on the team like don't do anything but sell activewear. Others just use it for their benefit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think at the end of the day, when you look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
Whether even after your workout, or even when you put on a suit and tie, and go to work or whatever, usually you look good, you feel good, you perform better. Man, my eye keeps tweaking out. But that's where I would think that makes a big difference. And even you talked about the gal earlier who like maybe showed up in a t-shirt and worked her way in and says, I want to get some of these pants.
Right.
Let me get a better, tighter shirt and feel better. Like, so you can, reward yourself for your progress for sure.
This is like motivation, right? Like we were talking about motivation versus discipline. And it's like, let a new outfit kind of motivate you to hit the gym floor. Feel good in general.
Let's transition to nutrition.
Okay.
What are like a meal or two that is easy to put together, relatively like hitting the nutrition check boxes, but still have some good flavor or taste? What's your kind of go-to for you have a husband and kids
for lunch? Or
well, whatever. I mean, there's got to be a go-to that is like my family loves it. It's easy. I don't mind putting it together because it's quick. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with more of a
and don't say shells and cheese.
It might not be it might not be like a specific meal, but that's why I love it, because you can plug and play and just use this mindset. And I will say, my oldest kid the other day was like, is it just another bowl again? So I like fuel on power bowls. And in the gist of it all is I tend to take greens of any kind, right? Your mixed greens, romaine, kale, whatever you're feeling. Those are high volume foods with a lot of minerals and vitamins that you can eat a lot of, but it'll fill you up, but it won't weigh you down with the calories, right? Not to say that calories are bad either. But then we choose like a carbohydrate to go with that. So quinoa, maybe some sweet potatoes, rice. Choose a protein. So again, you can choose chicken, tuna, eggs, and then a fat, which is usually, I like avocados or some sort of like ground nut. You could do seeds, you could do just oils. So that kind of concept of a power bowl is what I really try to, I don't know, stick to.
What about if you just put too much rice in a power bowl? Too much carbohydrate.
Okay, so yeah, like portion sizes.
Yes.
Yeah, portions are a big deal. You know, and for maintenance, even maybe a deficit, well, I'll backtrack. I think something super easy that we have attached to us for portions is our hand. So what I tend to get clients into, because not a lot of people are going to take time to measure, right?
Yeah.
And even when you use your half a cup of measuring spoon and put that same amount on a food scale, can be two different things. So then when you get tracking it can be off. But anyway, so your hand is a great opportunity for that. So we usually say like a palm is your protein. A fist is your carbohydrate. A handful is like your veggies, we'll call it. And then a thumb size is like your fats. So keeping it kind of contained to that. Now, if you wanted to gain, I might push you up and do 2 palmfuls or however that might look.
Yeah, I'm sure for each person is different portions. Yeah.
Right.
So one of my go-tos, chicken breast, potatoes, broccoli.
Perfect.
All right, that's what I was wondering. You didn't mention potato in there anywhere, so I wondered.
No, that's a great.
She said sweet potato.
Oh, yeah. All right,
Yeah.
well, I get like the white golds or
I think that's good. I don't think we should be scared of any foods. And honestly, what helps me with that, and I try to just educate clients, is like the closer to the source, the better. You know, I was talking with someone the other day, and for some odd reason, the potato was like, it was sticking with her. She's like, oh God, there's so many carbs and things of that nature. But she was also okay with going to get like a fried fish sandwich. And it was like, wait a second. We got to work on that a little bit, because that is not, I mean, nothing should be off limits, first of all.
Right.
We need to work on portion sizes, period. But no, I think potatoes are great. Like, yes, there's carbs in them, and poor carbs. They've gotten such a bad rap.
Yeah, and a lot of people want to cut them out completely, and it's like I feel like that's another temporary fix. I mean,
For sure.
You won't work because you need the energy.
Well, what's happening inside is that your body, when you eat carbohydrates, you pull water into the cell with carbohydrates. So when there's not carbohydrates, you're not pulling intracellular water, right? So that's where you get that initial like quick weight loss, where, you know, people are stoked and like ready to roll. And then they get that going, and then they realize, wait, I can't not
sustain.
Eat carbs. So then they might go for a weekend, say. Notice they gain 5 pounds on Monday. Well, yeah, you probably did, but one, it could be like a lot of intracellular water or like water gain, but that's going to happen. It doesn't mean it's fat loss when you start lowering your carbs. It just means that you literally aren't pulling in as much like intracellular water over time.
Yeah.
So
I just feel like and it's like not even just working out. You know, everyone wants to get rich quick. We want to lose. That's our society that has become. You know, we want to get this fast. You know, we want the results, right? Very quick, no matter what it is. And I think that's our society has kind of lost the patience. The hard work pays off. You know, over time, somehow that's started to dwindle. You know.
Yeah, it is sad, because I think when you mention any of that, like get rich quick or whatever, it's like it does happen for like a moment, for a temporary moment, and then it's like, oh shoot, now I'm back to square one. Or, you know,
Or it even worked for somebody.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're like, well, it
Yeah.
worked for him. Why can't it work for, well, you're different. you know?
Yes, that's so true.
What about water? How much water should people drink?
Great question. I think a minimum of your body weight divided in half in ounces is like a minimum. But if you're working out, I would push that a little bit. I mean, more than a gallon a day, probably not necessary. So if you use that for guidance, so yeah,
You've seen those, they've become popular. Like they're a little bigger than yours and they're like 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m.
Yeah.
noon. Like I get the idea, you know, and sure,
Right.
but I mean, are you really going to, you know, every day being like, oh shoot, I'm an hour behind on my water.
Because
Yeah.
I did a calculation one time online, and it said I need to drink 12 of this a day.
Do what?
12 of those?
Yeah, 12 of this.
Which is, what is
This is
that?
half a liter. I don't know in ounces. Cause,
Yeah.
I
I usually drink about 120 myself. I have the big travel cup, and
Yeah.
you know, I'll just go through, I don't know, 10 plus a day, no problem. But I don't drink soda. I don't, that because I'm against them. I just don't.
Yeah.
Iced tea, or you know, I'd go out. We had lunch today. I get a water every time. You know.
I always get diet pop.
Yeah.
What do you think about diet soda?
I mean, I'm again like I don't usually drink pop. However, I mean, is it horrible? I suppose if you are like needing a calorie deficit and has 0 in it, like
Zero
sure,
calories.
use that. I just think it comes down to like the sugar overall, and yes, it might not have like sugar in it,
It has a Splenda.
it might,
Right.
but
It
yet
has all the other stuff.
yes, it can still mess with insulin levels and things of that nature
Yeah.
too. So
My college, when I was in Arizona, I lived with this guy, and he quit drinking. He used to, I mean, not kidding, like 12, 15 beers every day. So he's like, I'm done drinking beer, and he quits and proceeds to drink a 12-pack of Diet Coke every single day. And I'm like, I think those 12 beers might be better for you. I mean, I don't know, but there's no way these 12
That's
Diet
crazy.
Coke, and I mean every day this guy would drink.
12 diet coke is a
yeah,
lot.
that is
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
That is
Right.
a lot.
I drink one per day. I think I'm okay.
Hey, yeah.
You had 3 at lunch, you got a refill.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Today. Yeah. Usually restaurants they'll bring it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, at home I would drink only 1 can, maybe.
You know,
but I think I know it's bad. It's not very good. But I mean, it's 0 calories.
I
you
don't
know?
think you're hurting yourself.
Right.
But I would say the last 4 years, I think I drank 1 pop per day.
I don't know. I don't
You think that's
you're-
a lot?
No.
365 pops a
A
year?
nutritionist might
I
say that.
mean,
But I'm over here like, you're
I
cool,
don't think
dude.
it's necessary. But again, going back to like meeting people where they're at, right? Like, what if you were drinking a can of regular soda every day?
That would be the worst.
And then you had a weight loss goal? That's where I might say, okay, I'll meet you where you're at, Victor, and I'll say, let's do the diet
Yeah.
versus the full throttle calories, right? Like, so that's where I think it's important, especially as a professional in this field, that we're not like dictators and like, this is bad and you shouldn't do this. It's like everyone is different, like we've talked about, and everyone's journey is different. So if we need to work in diet pop, let's
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, I stopped drinking regular pop after I saw, 50 grams of sugar. That's a lot.
Yeah,
When you
did
see
you
the
pour
demo,
that out?
they
Yeah.
start doing that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's so much. I was
Yeah.
like, man, I will not keep drinking this. you
For
know?
me, when I cut soda out, I would always, like I said, I only drank water. But whenever I did have a soda, it would be as a mixer. So like a rum and Sprite,
Right.
gin and Sprite, bourbon and Sprite. And I remember I was at a house party and was hanging out, having drinks. And at the end of the night, I realized, like throughout the cocktails, I had like 7 Sprites. And I'm like, what are you, like a 12-year-old kid? You just hanging out with your friends, just canceling Sprites, And like, you think about how much sugar is in that.
Yeah.
I know no caffeine in Sprite, but it has just as much sugar.
Yeah.
And so that was like that. I remember like that night realizing that. I'm like, dude, you are done with soda. So
Yeah.
now I do club soda, which it doesn't taste as good, but it's at least bland
Yes.
and empty.
Yes. you're meeting yourself where you're at. You're changing it up for sure. Right. That's a big deal.
I didn't cut out the bourbon or the
right. Well, I was going to say now you just use water or something, which you got
50
there before
grams
me.
of sugar, like 1 can of pop is the same as a big plate of rice.
Yeah,
you know, it's better to just eat than to drink something.
I worked at a bank in Bloomington, and this gal would always every day talk about how she can't seem to lose weight, right? But she didn't exercise, and then every day would come in with the tall boy of like Frappuccino. That's why I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere that you might as well have 2 Big Macs.
For sure.
Yes.
As opposed to the big Frappuccino.
$1,000 Frappuccino. I mean, 1,000 calories Frappuccino.
Yeah.
You're better off eating 2 Big Mac. From what I read, and I was like, dude, those things are. I think that's why you're not cutting any weight.
That might have something to do with it, and that's a great place to start with a lot of people. Is just nixing those like high calorie drinks. That's huge because even like a smoothie. I mean, it's so dense. It's small, but it contains so many calories. Like we might as well eat our chicken, potatoes, and broccoli. A huge plate of food. To me, my mind works better like that when I can, like even a protein bar. I had one on the way here. And it was like, shoot, I could have had like my chicken and an apple for this and eat longer, and my mind would feel more full too.
Yeah, and you would be more full, right?
For sure, absolutely.
Those things are great for like a quick substitute. You know, I keep them in the glove box for like I'm driving, I'm running, I don't have time.
Yes.
I'm just going to do that.
Yeah. I think supplements are good in that regard. Like, I would much rather all of us get our macronutrients from real food just because our bodies accepts it better. But in the busy life, I think those protein bars, and yes, some of them are better than others. Even, you know, your protein powders and things of that nature, like those are helpful for busy people to accomplish their goals.
Yeah, I drink my whey protein every day.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. So like protein shakes, a lot of people start their day with them. Is that what you do? You have one in the morning?
No,
or
after gym. After the gym. I've heard that after you have your strength work, like your workout lifting, after like 20-30 minutes is the best window for you to take a lot of protein. I'm not sure if that's right. Is it?
I mean, in a nutshell, it can be right. I don't think the timing has as much to do with getting it in for the day, if that makes sense.
Just need to reach your macronutrients every day.
When I think,
and I need 200 grams of protein. That's so hard.
200.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
How are you supposed to get? I supposed to have 200. Everyone's supposed to have 200.
So a piece of chicken like this side, 200 grams of chicken is like 30 to 40 grams of protein.
Okay.
So you either eat 6 of those or with a bunch of egg whites, because if you eat the whole egg, it's gonna be a lot of fat because of the yellow part, the yolk.
That's my favorite part.
Yes, mine too. So yeah, I need to reach. And then I realized that 2 scoops of whey protein. I mean, 1 scoop is 40 grams. 2 is already 80 grams of protein. And in 1 cup, I drink 80 grams of protein. That helps so much, you know?
Yeah.
Hard, I almost never can reach 200.
Yeah,
but
that would be
at
hard.
least 130, 150.
I'd have to wake up like 2 in the morning, again at 5 in the morning.
Yeah,
you know.
well, there you go in terms of like those things. Like eating can be a full-time job. I mean, competing, like that's what you do.
Yeah.
You like eat, train, sleep, and like repeat for sure. How do you track your protein or know how much you're getting?
There's the apps like MyFitnessPal, those apps, but I just have an idea. Just like the chicken, it's something I have an idea how much carbs is in 100 grams of rice. I have an idea as well. So, I just by my head, I know around how much, how many grams. Yeah. I've been doing this for a while too, because I mean, I gain weight quick, and if I don't watch what I eat, I will get fat. Very fat.
I've never seen anyone who can put food down like you do, and I'm being serious. Like, you know,
but I try to eat protein.
Right? No, I'm not saying you're a bad eater. But you have no problem finishing your plate. Where like I'm on the other side of that. I have, I don't know, a small stomach or what, but I have like an American plate. I'm taking half of that home from the restaurant. I mean, it's usually so full. I'm like, well, I'm going to eat this again later. Yeah. And it might be 3-4 hours later, you know?
Yeah.
I eat my plate and someone else.
I know. You'll be like, you going to get that? I've seen it, man. I'm like, you just ate a whole brisket sandwich, and now you want my quesadilla.
Yeah, that's why I need to watch, what I eat.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Which could be for a lot of things, right? But I think that's too why I love the strength training component, especially for females, because the more lean mass we have, the more calories we burn at rest, right? So we can afford to eat more usually, right? To keep that around, at least if we wanted to. So yeah, that is a big, that excites me when I can educate people on that exact thing. At my studio, I have a machine called an InBody, which it's a body composition machine. It weighs you, obviously, but then it takes that and it kind of breaks it down into what you're made of. So it tells us our percent body fat. It tells us our skeletal muscle mass, and then considers the dry lean mass, which is anything that's not fat or muscle. So then we can kind of put these things into play, like strength training and our diet for the moment, and say, let's recheck in 6 weeks. How are we doing? And make tweaks along the way too.
Yeah. When you were competing, did you ever need to lose to lose weight like one day before the competition?
No. In fact, actually, when I won my pro card, I was at one of the heaviest.
Okay.
I was on this stage, and my body fat might have been a little higher than some of the previous times. And for the judges, they don't care what your body fat is. It just comes off on what they see from the stage and presentation and things. So
okay. Did you need to do all those poses and train the?
Yeah. Yep. So that's definitely a component of practice. Is like you're practicing all the time that staged presentation. I mean, that's the hard part for me. I can work out and eat well all day. It's like getting up and presenting it in front of hundreds of people that you're like, oh shit. And you're also half naked.
Right.
So it's very like.
How come the spray tan? I mean, I get it because it usually, I can get like it. Maybe a define helps show muscle more. Yeah. But like, I feel like you have to do it. You have to do it. And I that kind of puts everyone on like a level playing field. So everyone does look the same. Okay. In a sense. Right. Like because you can see when someone has not used the professional on the stage, and they've applied it themselves, they just don't look the same, and therefore they may not like pop out to the judges as much, or as you just might not see as many cuts and definitions. But it's also a stage, so you're like stage makeup and like at the extreme too. Yeah, I guess I never looked at it that way, but yeah, if you're about to go do an act, you would get makeup and a little more dramatic than like just walking on. But it's on always stage. Like, because I've seen we've seen these since we were kids. You watch these shows or like the bodybuilders, and some of them like, and they're completely orange, and then like right here it stops. Yeah. And I remember even being as a kid, like, what the heck's this guy doing? Yeah. It's the worst.
It might be a stupid question. So do you think? So the white people, they need to use the oil, the tanning thing. Oh yeah. To get darker, right? Probably more.
They'll spray darker skinned people too.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I was gonna ask that. Do you think black people have a competitive advantage against white because you're just when the black?
Tan comes in. If it was my pale, terrible skin,
they still will do like sprays or like the oils for sure, but that's just to really even it out. But their bodies are built for muscle, so I feel like they always have an advantage. Okay. Right?
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I just know my skin would look terrible on the stage. I'm gonna be like,
imagine you orange.
Yeah, go ahead and make me orange. It'll look better than the all white.
Let's do a spray tan challenge. Let's take you to the spray booth. It's horrible.
But... All right, maybe we'll do that on our next episode. We'll have a spray tan session. We both have to come out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Victor's body would look better. So you don't have the dad bod yet. You will next week. I'm very excited for you to have that, by the way.
That'll be so exciting for you. Where are you working out?
At Planet Fitness.
In Galesburg?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, no judgment place.
Yeah, they have the judge.
I
free
like
zone.
that. That's their how do you say their
Slogan.
Yeah,
They're
their
like,
slogan.
yeah. Do they ever like let off the, what is it, like the clunk thing
when you drop the.
I never seen that happening, but I like that thing that they have there.
Yeah.
They try to avoid as much as they can the guys
Right.
screaming and
Yeah.
and all of that. That's not very welcoming for
Yeah.
people that's just starting working out. you
For
know?
sure.
Yeah.
So how is it going for you as a mom? You're doing all this stuff, and then how are you setting up with the kids? And I see sometimes they're in your workout videos, so they're just like you and your father.
Yeah.
And here you got two girls that are looking at mom like, man, our mom's a badass.
Yeah. I try to make sure they understand, like, I'm a better mom when I pour into myself and make myself feel good. And I think they probably see and witness that sometimes too. Like if I haven't had a workout in today, it's like, okay, I'm going downstairs, like figure it out until I'm done.
Right.
And a lot of times you're right, they will join me. Whether it's even just sitting down there chatting, or a lot of times they just start moving around, right? Which is a good lesson for us all to remember. It's like just enter the gym and then start moving, or enter in your wherever and start moving. But that is always going to be important to me, and has been, to make sure my kiddos know that it's good to take time for yourself. Make time, because you can't really find it. You got to make it. That's for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then, as kids, like our mom or dad, that's our superhero. So you doing that is setting a great example for them. And I'm sure, no doubt in my mind, they will move along through life following.
I hope so.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and tell people what's their website, the name of your...
Yeah, well, you can find me currently right now on Instagram at chiseled1 is my Instagram, and then there it has all the like links in my bios, so to speak, and it also includes activewear to supplements I work with. So it's all there, and then on Facebook you can find me at Chiseled Wellness. Okay. And even that private group, everyone's invited.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
We'll make sure we put in the description.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you so much for coming, Jane.
Thank you guys. I appreciate the opportunity. Seriously, that was fun.
Thank you
best
very
of
much.
luck here as this year, or whenever you do start to get on that your next competition.
Yeah.
Best of luck with getting your business and chiseled, all of that. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Jane
See you guys
Jacobsen
next
here with Chiseled Wellness. I'm Lauren Fulmer, Victor Dantas, in another amazing episode of the Talk About It podcast. Thank you for watching this episode of the Talk About It podcast.
I'm Victor Dantas.
I'm Lauren Fulmer.
And we would encourage you guys to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit the bell. It's going to be right below the video. So
Hit the bell.
So you know when the next episode is up. All
We
right?
appreciate all the support.
Thank you.